Welcome back to the Cycle Starters podcast. I'm your host, Heather Rebecca Wilson, and today I am thrilled to introduce you to a remarkable woman whose work is transforming how we understand our ancestral connections and the impact on our present lives. Our guest today is Girisha Andrea, an economist by training who has evolved into a powerful healer focusing on transgenerational trauma, grief recovery, and embodied empowerment. Girisha is the founder of the Empress-O method and the Conscious Woman Academy, where she combines ancient traditions with modern healing approaches to help people, especially women, rewrite their stories and unleash their full potential. Her unique approach has already changed thousands of lives worldwide, addressing everything from physical manifestations of ancestral wounds to deep-seated patterns of self-worth and identity. In 2021, she was featured on Yahoo's top 10 as the #4 love coach globally. And she's been recognized with numerous awards, including the Women Thrive Most Inspirational Speaker Award in 2025. Today, we're diving into the unseen within, liberation through ancestral healing. We'll explore how unresolved emotions and trauma live in our bloodlines and how conscious healing can free us from these inherited patterns while awakening our ancestral gifts and wisdom. Whether you're familiar with ancestral healing or just beginning to wonder about the influence of your lineage on your life, this conversation offers insights that can help you transform generational pain into personal power. So before we start our dialogue today, I do have a favor to ask. If you are liking the content that we are creating here on the Cycle Starters podcast, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It really helps the algorithm get our content in front of more viewers. So thank you in advance for that. I really appreciate the support. And without further delay, please join me in welcoming Girisha Andrea to our show. Hi, sis.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon for you. And here it's late evening because I'm from Europe and I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to be chatting with you. Thank you for saying yes to being on the show. We met in person at a retreat. This was pre-pandemic. I think this was like 2017, right?
17, yes.
Yeah, Tulum. So we both did the Vita program with Layla Martin. It was known as the Tantric Institute of Integrated Sexuality. So it's been so fun to reconnect with all of my sisters who went through that program because we all speak the same language. It's really fun.
Yes. And also we met in somewhere in the business course as well
Oh,
in
yeah. Oh,
California.
yeah. Yeah, we did the Palm Springs thing as
Palm
well
Springs,
at
yes. Yeah, the same
Parker.
year. Yeah.
Yes, the same year. So yeah, I just feel really blessed to know you. I know that you are doing such powerful work. It was so fun to look at your bio, and I was like, oh my God, Girisha does so many things. And one of my best friends is Hungarian from Szeged. I think I told you that. So I have a
Yes.
soft spot in my heart for the Hungarian people. So yeah, I'm just really excited for our conversation today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Of
So we have a
course.
lot of ancestral baggage as Hungarians.
Yeah, and I want to get into that. So why don't we start with that? Tell me about your ancestry, your blood ancestors.
Yeah, our nation. So if I'm going back to the history,
Mhm.
we had a very heavy and bloody history.
Mhm.
We were a kind of like servants of empires, different kind of empires throughout the history, and we were also somehow in the center of the two world wars. So even my father was born in the Second World War, so I don't need to go so far in my ancestral and bloodline to look at that the survival mode, the that to behave to be silent and be servant over giving things. These are also so much in our DNA. And also, I'm working a lot with shame recently, and I'm so grateful that finally I'm invited in so many workshops and podcasts and also summits to talk about shame and how we can work on our shame and how we can be more connected to ourselves, be more authentic, be more confident on what is inside. And I'm brave and I feel safe to really speak it out loud, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and who I am.
Beautiful. Well, I'm so curious. In your bio, it says that you're an economist by training. So, how did you get to this place where you are doing the work that you do? I'm so interested in your journey. What can you share with us about that?
Yeah, sure. It started, on a daily basis 21 years ago. And I was working in a top manager position in the EU accession of Hungary. And I was working a lot. I was in a long-term relationship. And somehow within 2 or 3 months, my whole safety bubble life collapsed. And then I felt that I was underground at one moment. Also my health issues and also work and also in all kinds of relationships. And I just lost my grandfather and I also had financial issues. So all area of my life showed me that I need to change. And previously I was unconsciously just doing what I could do. And I was not thinking, I was dreaming in a way, but not with that purpose, what I meant to be. And this just stopped me. And I started to do my inner journey.
Beautiful. Amazing. All right. Well, so what inspired you to do the sex, love, and relationships program with Layla?
Yeah, it was on my journey. So I started to do energy healing and also aura soma and also feng shui and different kind of methods. But very soon, I still don't know how I found myself in a tantric course. And I thought I had no problem with my sexuality, but it turned out that yeah, I had. And I learned that I had so many different kind of abuses, including sexual abuse. And I needed to do the healing work. And the same somehow, all kinds of teachers and training courses, just, it came to me. When it says that when you are ready, the master will appear. So this
Yep.
was absolutely on my journey. It was meant to be there. And I had no doubts about that. And I always travel to places. I always choose teachers, masters based on callings.
Mm-hmm.
I was not thinking about that. I felt a call and I was there.
All right. Well, we have that in common. I think to go and do that work, which is so tender and so sensitive and activating for people, you have to have a lot of courage and bravery. And I think it is a calling. I think you're called to do it. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for sharing all of that. I think you've mentioned some of this in the answers to the questions I've already asked, but what would you say are the patterns that you feel like you're breaking in your lineages in this incarnation?
I choose the first man in my life with the thought, with the belief that he will be my lifelong partner. And this was
Mhm.
absolutely the basis of my ancestral pattern. I cut the cord in this sense because I broke up after 10 years. And after that, my mom recently, we were just talking about that she had a bookkeeper company and she's still working. She's 76 and she's still working. And she really wanted me to work with her. And there was a moment when she saw that I could do much more than this work. And even though I could add some extra services to her company, and it was brand new in Hungary when there was a system change in 89. And there was a law to establish companies. And recently I just realized that my mom was so pioneer in this at this stage, because from companies she just started to be an entrepreneur, and since then she's doing that. And so because I felt that I was a rebel girl in the family, but then I realized that, oh my gosh, this is also a gift of my lineage and my inheritage. And most of the time when we are facing difficulties and challenges and pain and relationship issues and abuses and traumas, but behind it, or, underneath that, there are so many gifts. And we don't need to create or learn or experience. We can have a direct contact to reach and to embrace all of this knowledge and experiences. So basically, the first one was relationship. And the second one was that my mom was a martyr and a servant, and my father was very abusive. And I realized I was also abused all kinds of ways. And I started to do the healing work and be more confident, be more authentic, be more who I am, choosing more what I like to do. So in my day, most of the things I like to do, and then just really few what I have to do. And before I was just doing. And now I also have time for myself, nourishing myself, finding pleasure, time for myself. And this was absolutely also what I learned, that no, I have to give, and over giving, and I'm the last one and I don't have time for myself. So it's very interesting. In the last 6 years, I'm doing my ancestral work together with my mom, and I'm so proud of her.
Amazing.
And she did all of my Hungarian courses, both sexual related and also mother and father wounds. So she was there and I was sharing my stories. My father passed away 5.5 years ago. And since then, my mom had physical issues and a disease, which showed that she was ready to do the healing work as well. And in this sense, it was very interesting that she trusted in me most to do this embodiment and also the holistic healing. And on one hand, I was so proud of her. On the other hand, sometimes it was very challenging for me to hold space for her, knowing that she could share the deepest secrets and shame and pain and stories. And sometimes for me was very hard when in the situation both we were inside, and then she showed and she shared her point of view and what she felt when I was also there. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is challenging for me. But luckily, I had so many tools that I could hold space for that. And we did incredible transformation. And now, recently, we started to create a new company together. So we are doing some new projects together related to healthcare and prevention. And day by day, I can see how much she started to enjoy herself, because besides of my father, she felt so ashamed. She was always a bad girl, a bad woman. And what she's done, or what she just said, it was never enough good. And now she started to set her boundaries, and she was serving everyone. She was cooking, and because her love language is cooking. And when she visited me earlier, she was doing everything here at my home. And in the last few years, she started to say that, look, I'm a guest here, so you can prepare dinner for me. And I said, my goodness, this was really, really good. And the other one, that she was always doing something. So she felt very, very important or loved if she was doing something. And now she started to enjoy her time. She started to enjoy resting, or just doing nothing, or just doing something which is not important.
Oh my gosh. This is so beautiful. I love that you were able to hold space for your mom in this way, and not everybody can do that. I mean, personally, I don't think I could hold the space like that for my mom. I mean, I've had to in emergency situations, but that's a very, very tender thing. Good on you, and what a gift. I mean, it's in a way, it's a gift for both of you, and I think,
Absolutely.
yeah, I can tell like you feel that way. And I love that you guys have started a company together. So you're joining forces, and it's almost like some clearing had to happen before that idea could come in and there would be space for it, right? Like the space for a new creation. So that is so cool. And I'm so happy for your mom too, that
Thank you.
she's released the over giving piece, because people can work themselves into the hospital, make themselves sick by giving, giving, giving to the point of depletion. So I'm glad that she's, kicking back and allowing herself to receive, and that you've been the model for her, the inspiration.
Yes, and I can also see that we together could be a model for mothers and sisters, that no matter what kind of relationships or ancestral patterns we inherited or we are carrying, either separately or together, we can do the work, and it's absolutely worth it. And my other message could be that never too late. And now we can see that teenagers could start their inner journey. And I was 30, so I could be jealous that, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I could start earlier. And also my mom could say that, okay, why? I started like 10 years ago. She started like 10 years ago. Because I gave her some courses before as well. And, sometimes it was hard to let her go on her own rhythm, because most of the time we look at things that, okay, this is my rhythm and just go, 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 go. And
Hmm.
I had to step back and I said, that these are the opportunities and the options I can manage for you. I can help in this situation. You choose which one fits the best for you, and I respect your own rhythm. And, I had to step back, because when we are overgiving, that we are also taking responsibility over others. And this is not healthy either, because in this case, I cannot see in the other that he or she could do that. So therefore,
Yeah.
I try to take the responsibility, which is impossible at the end,
Yeah.
and it's not helping either of us.
Yeah. My goodness. This is so powerful. I love this. I love this mother daughter healing. Okay. Well, so Girisha, you are so kindly offering your time and your medicine to teach inside my membership in November, and I'm really excited about this. The membership used to be called the Ancestral Healing Collective. Now that I've ventured into quantum soul guidance, galactic astrology, my work has become much more galactic. And so the membership had to change. The membership had to evolve. So it's now called the Cosmic Awakening Circle. I'm so excited for your workshop. I want to tell people what the name of it is. And then I'd love to hear from you. If people are interested in participating, what can they expect and how can they best prepare to get the most out of it? So it's called Ancestor Alchemy: Transform Your Lineage into Power. And this is happening on November 5th at 12 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. EST. And I will put a link to the landing page for people to sign up in the show notes. Girisha, tell me, what should people expect from the workshop?
Definitely come with your presence, with your present situations in a relationship with yourself, with all kinds of relationships, and also the issues you are facing right now. And in a holistic way, and with my Empress-O method, we will look at how you can find the source, why you cannot go further, why you are stuck somewhere, why you cannot accept what is happening right now, why you are not patient to find a way or find out. And definitely at the end, you will be transformed. So you will come with your presence and being, and you will leave this program with a brand new self. And I can say it with confidence because in the last year, I also had space for groups to do the healing work. As I mentioned, mother father wounds, also the this how we can find these gifts from our ancestors. So there will be layers and layers. And we will definitely find some gems you can use afterwards. And then you can see also what are your superpowers, what you inherited from your ancestors.
Beautiful. I love this. I love it because it's an empowering take on ancestral healing. And the reason why I incorporate pleasure into my client work, and you obviously understand this 100%, but I think some people can sometimes get stuck circling in negativity when it comes to ancestral healing, and they get stuck facing backwards and just ruminating on the trauma. And what you're doing in this workshop is really helping people transmute that pain into power, because the ancestral wounds, they're all in the natal chart, by the way, in astrology, but the chart also shows us when we transmute those wounds, the gifts that are available to us that we've inherited. So I love this approach to ancestral healing. I think it is absolutely beautiful and very much needed at this time. So thank you so much for doing this. I'm very, very excited.
And I love that you mentioned pleasure because most of the time they are attached to each other. So there is pleasure and pain.
Yeah.
There is a heaviness and also the lightness. So somehow we experience both. And as we don't want to face the heaviness, the pain, the guilt, the shame, this negative aspect, therefore we don't have the access to pleasure, to happiness, to love, etc. So these attachments we can also find in the participants. So I invite everyone to bring your questions, and we can find out how you can be the fullest version at the end of the session.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so good. Girisha, I'm so excited for this. And you bring a lot of embodied wisdom to this topic. So this is going to be very, very powerful. Well, I think we should shift our conversation to some astrology now, because this is what I use in my practice along with pleasure for empowering people on their ancestral healing journeys. And so I want to give you a mini galactic astrology reading. So thank you for sending me your birth information. I want to first explain my approach to astrology. So I engage with it as a tool. It's not the rule, but it is a very, very powerful tool for understanding yourself as an energetic being and also empowering yourself on an ancestral healing journey. And as I mentioned before, we can see the ancestral wounds in the chart. We can also see the gifts. We can also see your deepest wound, like your core wound, and that usually is ancestral, to be honest. But again, once we transmute these wounds, there's so many gifts, there's so much power available to us. And then when it comes to galactic astrology, it expands natal astrology to involve aspects to fixed stars, nebulas, black holes, and supracosmic points. And it really illuminates your highest soul mission, kind of beyond this earthly incarnation, because our souls are ancient. And, I know not everybody is into this. That is fine. I am really, really into this. Some people aren't even into past lives on Earth, let alone past lives that have been off planet, right? Where they've been a being that's higher than the third dimension, right? Many of us have been 5D beings in other lives, 6D beings, and whatnot. So I'm obsessed. And so my work has evolved, the membership has evolved. And with that, I want to chat about first your sun, moon, and rising sign, because those three energies really make up the vast majority of your energetic signature. So your sun is just where the sun was the day that you were born, and it is where you shine from a 3D perspective. It's also your creative energy, and it's the special sauce that you mix into everything you do that makes you stand out from the 11 other astrological signs. And so each sign is a spectrum of psycho-spiritual energy with a high expression and then a low expression as well. And all of us have all 12 signs in our charts. Some signs will be more emphasized for everybody just because it depends on what your big three are. But also, if you have a cluster of planets in one house or one sign, that's going to be an area of concentration for you. So, my dear, you are a Pisces sun and a Virgo moon and a Virgo rising. So, you're double Virgo. But let's start with this sun. So, Pisces is mutable water, and water represents our emotions and our feelings and our sentiments. And when we have an element that is an immutable modality, it just means that it's changeable and adaptable. So where you shine is very Piscean. It's very dreamy. It's very romantic. It's very creative. And you feel everything. You have love for all living beings. So you have this huge, gigantic heart. You have so much compassion for other people, for all living beings. That is the high expression of Pisces. It's very spiritual. And all of the water signs are very psychic and intuitive. And I would argue, just in my studies and in my experience with clients, that Pisces is the most multidimensional, closest to the veil of all of the signs, including the water signs. Okay. So, and you know this, you're very psychic and intuitive. You feel things, right? The lower expression of Pisces, though, is victimhood
Mhm.
and giving your power away, right? I can't lead. I'm not a leader. I'm not enough. And also, escapism is another form of that unhealed Pisces energy. So I'm curious, does any of this resonate for you?
Absolutely, fully. Yes, this is what I started to heal. This is what I just mentioned. This was my inheritance. This was absolutely coming from my mom, and also escapism and also projecting and blaming others are from my father.
Okay.
And I was working so much on this to be more confident. And also, yeah, I can see my worthiness from inside. So not from the ego point of view that, yes, I've done so much. And finally, I feel that I'm embodying and I know how much I've done. And not excusing, or I'm explaining myself that, oh my gosh, I've done this and this and this, but this was a hard work for me.
Yeah, in my conversations, working with clients and just friends who are Pisces, it can be overwhelming because you feel everything. And when I tune into the energy of mutable water, it's like water without a container. It's water that bleeds into everything that it touches. And so I do feel like part of the Pisces growth journey is building a container for the water and boundaries for sure, because you can be very overwhelmed with the changeable water of it all. Sometimes the water is calm and still, and then other times it's a storm. Other times it's a tidal wave. So you're very psychic, you're very intuitive, very creative. So you're a double Virgo though. So you're a Virgo rising and a Virgo moon. I too am a Virgo moon, so we have this in common. So your moon represents your emotions and also your emotional inheritance. So that includes ancestral wounds and the gifts that they've given you. And then the other cool thing about knowing your moon sign is that it shows you what you are responsible for giving to yourself in order to feel at home and balanced in your own energy. So Virgo is also mutable like Pisces. So it's changeable, it's adaptable, but it's earth. And earth is what we use to build the structures that give us stability and security in our lives. And so I would say that Virgo is the most intellectual of all of the earth signs, but it's very practical. It's very, very grounded. And the high expression is healing, making things better, refining things, efficiency, I would say also. The lower expression of Virgo, though, is overthinking and anxiety and being really hard on yourself. I would say perfectionism is the other like low expression of Virgo. But I feel like once we are able to transmute those wounds, because this is your moon, so you've also inherited this from your ancestors and likely your maternal line, honestly, because the moon represents the mother. When we're able to transmute that, we're able to create systems and frameworks for other people to do the healing work because Virgo is so organized. And the other thing we have to look out for, I'm saying you, but it's me because I've also had to do this work too. It's that sometimes we can focus so much on the details, we lose the beauty of the bigger picture because we want everything to be right. We want everything to be in order. So I'm curious, does any of this resonate? And then also, how do you care for your emotional life with this Virgo moon?
Yeah, I can still fully resonate with all of this what you said. And yeah, this was the work I've also done because I'm an economist and I have 2 diplomas in finance. So I was working so much in the details with the numbers, with the tables.
Mhm.
And I think that I can also manage somehow the big point of view, which I feel that's coming from the dream as from the Pisces
Mhm.
that and then I can absolutely play with this, that coming out and coming back. And for the emotions, I also had to learn so many emotional regulational tools and techniques because I suppressed so much energies from this martyrhood that I
Mhm.
had no voice. And now I'm absolutely able to express the real time emotions. And I don't care if publicly I'm speaking and I'm emotional and I'm just tears in my eyes. Or maybe if I'm full with anger, I can absolutely show it. And I also learned how not to project, because it's coming from the suppression and at one moment I'm just kind of like a volcano and projecting to others. And I learned to regulate it. When I started my inner journey 21 years ago, I was absolutely perfectionist and also I was working a lot. And then I committed to myself to create more harmony in my life. I started with 2 months and 1 month, and now within a day, and I knew, for example, that in the evening and after our call, that I will also do some other things. So in the afternoon, I had a rest. So I'm creating space for myself within a day. And I'm really, really keen on to have good sleep.
So important. Yes. I feel like for us Virgo moons, we need a routine that's a balance of the mind and the body. I think that's really important for us. Well, so your rising sign is also Virgo. So you have a lot of Virgo energy in your chart. So the rising sign is chosen by you, by the way, when you're on the other side. You decide, I'm going to come in at this time. I'm going to come in as a Virgo rising because that's the energy that people first pick up on when they meet you, right? When they don't know you. And so it's the vehicle for your divine mission. It's your perception of reality. It's like the glasses, it's the lens that you see everything through. And so the other interesting thing that I didn't mention before is that the archetype that is associated with Virgo is, well, there are two. The discerning herbalist is one. So I think that speaks to like the healing aspect of Virgo, but also it's the virgin, but not the woman that abstains from sex. That's not the virgin I'm talking about. This is the woman who is complete unto herself without a man. So she does not seek wisdom externally. She goes within for wisdom. And so I definitely feel you embodying this. How is this landing for you?
I haven't heard this before. I've done so many analyses from specialists, and now I understand something, and I'm touched a little bit. I'm also teaching and showing other women, especially women, to not to going from one man to another, from one relation to another, just create spaciousness for themselves, to learn more about themselves, to create more space and time for themselves, and reconnecting, rediscovering themselves. Because if we are in this wounded pattern, all are abused in some way, all are traumatized in some way, or all met shame in some ways. So therefore, first I could do the healing work. I will attract partners, let's say man or partners, on the new level and not from the wounded one. And of course, we are here to heal. So it's a never ending story in this sense, but it matters where our starting point in a new relationship.
Yeah.
And also what I experienced recently, especially since I've created this new company with my mom, we are surrounded brand new quality of men, and they are supporting us. And also my mom could see that, okay, not just these abusive types of men could connect to her, but men who are gentlemen, who are supportive, who are just holding us and respecting us. And we can also step into our feminine part and dancing in this harmony of femininity and masculinity. So thank
I
you very
love
much for
that.
this new realization
No
for me.
problem. No problem. And I'm going to blow your mind now because I'm going to share with you your galactic aspects, the ones that really stood out to me. So, in order for me to do a deep dive, I have to open the soul records. So, I didn't do that, but this is more of a high level reading of what I saw. And so, in terms of your galactic aspects, what I found is that your chart carries this unmistakable frequency of the innovator and the systems builder. So that's one of the galactic life themes that I look for, and there's certain markers. So you are basically a soul that came here to rewrite the architecture of what it means to be human, feminine, and free. So your North Node, which is it's a point. It's the top of the moon, basically, but it shows you what the greatest challenges are that you must overcome in order to reach your highest potential in this life. So that's your assignment. So basically, when you're not doing your North Node, you can't manifest. Okay. So your North Node, interestingly, is conjunct the galactic center. So that is one of the super cosmic points in galactic astrology. And so your destiny is literally tethered to the pulse of creation itself. And so the galactic center is like the cosmic heartbeat of the galaxy. It is a point of infinite expansion, spiritual wisdom, and divine intelligence. And so I would say you're a visionary who doesn't just follow collective evolution. You are steering collective evolution. And you're here to download new paradigms of wholeness and to weave them into practical frameworks, just like you've done with your Empress-O method. So there's more. So your Neptune, which is the planet of spirituality. It speaks to past lives and also where we want to merge, like merge in the spiritual sense, but also where we can lose ourselves. And it's also the planet of addictions, actually. So your Neptune is conjunct the fixed royal star Antares in the Scorpius star system. And Antares is huge. It's much bigger than our sun. And what this does for you is that it adds this mystical leadership signature to your chart. So Antares carries the frequency of Archangel Uriel and the fire of divine truth and transmutation. So combined with your Neptune, it really gives you the ability to see into hidden realms of emotions and trauma and grief, and to dissolve the illusion and reveal the sacred that is underneath. And so you're not just guiding your clients, right, the women through healing, you are guiding them through alchemy. And then your Chiron, which is your deepest wound, which is often ancestral, but it's also showing you your superpowers if you're able to transmute that wound. Your Chiron is conjunct Tau Ceti, which is in the Cetus star system. And so this really just deepens your calling already. Tau Ceti souls are innovators. They are brilliant system thinkers who bridge healing and science and spirituality. So Chiron conjunct Tau Ceti, it's like your wound became your own technology. Every scar that you've ever carried has become a source code for others to heal. You don't just teach transformation, you embody it. And then lastly, your midheaven, which is the very top of the chart. So it's like what you do in public. What is your contribution to society? So it's very much associated with your career and the work you do in the world. Your midheaven is conjunct the star Algol in the Perseus star system. And so that means your public mission carries this power to reclaim what has been demonized or shamed, especially around the feminine body and sexuality and grief. So Algol is often misunderstood by people, but in truth, what I feel like it represents is this courage to confront and redeem what society fears. So your visibility, you being out there doing your thing, it's healing the collective shadow around all of this material. So you are a galactic innovator and a priestess engineer of transformation. So you're merging the sacred with the practical, the sensual with the systemic, building new frameworks for liberation that will echo for generations. So that's what I found. Just high level, not going super deep, but just that's what stood out to me. So tell me, how is this landing for
My
you?
goodness, you completely blow my mind. But every single word, what you just said, yes, it's me. Yes, it's me. Yes, it's me. So I absolutely said it. Yes, it's my reality. And it's incredible how you formulated the words. I have never heard earlier in any kind of analysis before. And you just share the words which are connecting to my brand new self, I can say. So I
Nice.
shifted and shaped a lot in the last year. And I can absolutely say that in this new project we are working with my mom, it's healing, spirituality, and innovation. And also what you also said, that engineering, so kind of like structure in the healing works, and also mainly working with femininity, but also working with men, healing their masculinity, but also healing their wounds caused by femininity. So definitely I will rewatch and re-listen to this, because it was so deep and so essential what you just shared, that I'm also deep and directly to the point. So even though you said that it was not deep, but with your wording, it was absolutely deep, because you just shared the essence. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. It's my pleasure. And I hope at some point I can give you a full reading. It's a 2-hour thing for me to share what comes through, and I have to open the soul records. I look at everything. So it's a whole process, but it would be really fun to do it. It would be my honor. So we can chat about that offline. Well, so what are you working on now that you can share with us? We have your workshop that's happening on the 5th, but is there anything else going on? I mean, you've started this business with your mom, but anything else you want to share?
Yeah. As this month, October, is about feminine breast health, I've done an incredible program, Awaken Your Breast Pleasure. So connecting with our breast, because this is a symbol of our femininity. So it's so essential to do the healing work, and step by step, with a very, very gentle healing way, I'm showing how you can connect with your breath in a brand new way. So this is what I'm working in English right now.
Beautiful. I love it. I mean, I give myself breast massages. I teach my clients to do breast massage. It's such an easy thing to do to change your energy, to change your vibration, right? Because it stimulates so much oxytocin. Yeah, I think it's such a good self love practice. So I love that you're doing that.
And this
Amazing.
is
Well,
only
so
just one practice from out of hundreds of practices.
oh, I know. You have, I'm sure, a library. You have a whole toolbox of things to share with your clients and with the world. Well, Girisha, where should people go if they want to learn more about you or if they want to work with you?
You can find me on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok with Girisha Andrea.
Okay, perfect. That's super easy. Okay, so I'm glad you told me that you're on YouTube because I'll make sure I tag you in the show notes for it. So, okay, perfect. Well, I have one last question for you that I ask all of my guests. What are the new cycles that you are starting in your lineages?
Yeah, I start a new cycle where no longer shame of our body, our femininity, our masculinity, and also we can speak our truth in real time. And mothers and daughters are not carrying anymore the pain, but they can absolutely, with the healing work, they can enjoy their life and also their freedom related to pleasure. Pleasure is our birthright and it's not a luxury. We can create more pleasure, not just sexual, all kinds of pleasure in our life. And healing work and healing is our legacy.
Oh my goodness, Girisha, this has been absolutely wonderful connecting with you. I'm very excited for your workshop on November 5th. Again, I will put the link to sign up in the show notes. You're working in Hungarian too, mostly. Are you like 50% English, 50% Hungarian, or is it
No,
mostly
it's
Hungarian?
always changing. It
Okay.
depending on the demand. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love that. I mean, you're flexible. I don't know another language. I am so impressed that you are working in two languages. That is freaking fantastic. All right. Well, this has been fabulous. Thank you so much. I'm sending you big hugs
Thank you.
from Venice. And yeah, this has been wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, everybody. We will see you next time on the Cycle Starters podcast. Take care. Bye, Garisha.
Bye.